From animal abuse and DUIs to domestic violence and murder trials, so many of our on-field sports heroes have turned out to be villains off-field. In today's video, sit tight as we uncover the antics of some of the most notorious NFL players to date. Number 5. Randy Moss. Celebrated as the league's most dominant wide receiver at one point in his career, the footballer-turned-analyst Randy Moss is also famous for being his own worst enemy. Surprisingly, unlike most other players, his talent for troublemaking dates back to his school days. Turns out, in 1995, while still at high school, he had his football scholarship to the University of Notre Dame, Indiana, revoked for being involved in a racially motivated fight. If reports are anything to go by, the young Moss pleaded guilty to battery and faced a 30-day jail sentence as a result. To no one's surprise, the sentence was extended to 60 days once he was found guilty of violating probation by smoking pot. Classic! Now, if you're thinking he's changed since being drafted to the NFL in 1998, think again. From being fined thousands of dollars for abusing or touching officials to being asked to receive anger management counseling, he can't seem to stay out of trouble. As for the time he was fined for mooning Green Bay fans back in 2004, allow us to refresh your memories.
To the fans here in Green Bay. That is a disgusting...
Number 4. Lawrence Taylor. As one of the only two defenders to win the MVP award in the last 40-something years, Lawrence Taylor begs no introduction. His laundry list of scandals, however, isn't something a lot of people know about. Aside from the time he was in the headlines for being registered as a sex offender in 2010, Lawrence has been under fire for several drug-related charges as well. Of these charges, the most incredulous one dates back to 1988 when he was caught and eventually suspended for using his teammates' urine to bypass drug tests. To make matters worse, there's also evidence that he'd sent sex workers to his opponents' rooms pre-game to tire them out. That's of course to say nothing of the dozens he's admitted to hiring himself in the span of a single day. Factor in the time he beat up his plug after a drug deal gone wrong in the mid-90s and tell us if you can distinguish the NFL player from a supervillain. All in all, Lawrence truly is a lesson in how best to mar one's career, if there ever was one. Number 3. Michael Vick. Michael Vick's been on Forbes' list of most disliked athletes twice in a row, and for good reasons. Back in 2007, the star athlete fell from grace after he was convicted of organizing dogfights on his property in Virginia. As per official reports, at least 30 dogs had died on the property, whereas 40 or so more were rescued upon the authorities' first search. Here's a look at one of the dogs that was recovered during his search. The authorities also concluded from the contraptions found on the premises that the dogs were forced to breed. This happened the same year that he was apprehended at Miami airport for allegedly carrying an illegal substance in a secret compartment in his water bottle. 2 years before the previous information came to light in 2005, he was also sued for knowingly giving someone an STD. We don't know about you, but it baffles us that he was still able to return to the NFL after accruing charges such as these. If it were up to us, he wouldn't be allowed to see the light of day. Number 2. Ray Lewis. Speaking of serving time, another NFL player who ranks highly on the controversy scale is Ray Lewis. As some of you might know, Ray was arrested in connection to the murder of 2 people at a Super Bowl party in the year 2000. However, the charges were ultimately dropped, and the ex-Ravens linebacker ended up becoming a state witness against 2 of his friends also involved in the incident. Official reports say that he had to pay $250,000 in fines as well. But this murder trial can't compare to the one we've lined up for our final pick. Number 1. O.J. Simpson. Yes, you guessed it, our top pick is none other than O.J. Simpson. Accused of murdering his wife Nicole Brown and her friend Ronald Goldman in 1995, Simpson's trial went on to become one of the most watched trials in American history, inspiring thousands of adaptations and reenactments at that. Surprisingly, however, and despite the mounting evidence, he was acquitted of the charges. You heard that right. His 33-year prison sentence, contrary to popular belief, was for trying to rob a sports memorabilia seller and only happened in 2007. While he said that the robbery was an attempt to get back some of his mementos, we think it might have had something to do with the millions he owed in punitive damages. What do you think? Let us know in the comments below, give us a thumbs up, and subscribe for more content.